Hello, my name is Liz Schlemer, and this is a welcome video for IME 315 Financial Decision Making for Engineers at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. Today I'm going to be covering these things in this video, just welcoming you and just saying how excited I am that we get to do this together. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about me so you know my background. And then I'm going to talk about how to maneuver this online course, expectations, grading and due date, organizations, and how to contact me. And then lastly, I'm going to switch to PolyLearn and let us go through to see how it is we can maneuver PolyLearn. So I'm really happy to be here teaching this class. I'm excited to do this online course. I've never taught an online course before, but I've been using flipped classroom for about a decade, and so I'm pretty good at creating structure on PolyLearn and creating videos like this. But I really do want your input as we move through this, so there's going to be a lot of ways to connect with me, and I hope that you take advantage of that and let me understand what it is you need in this class. So I have a very deep connection to Cal Poly. I went to school here. I was a WOW leader. I was involved in IIE, or AIE is what it was called at the time, but I was very active at the university. I also have been here on campus for 26 years, and two of my three daughters went to Cal Poly. One actually graduated in industrial engineering. So I have a very deep connection to Cal Poly. I'm also Engineers Without Borders co-advisor right now, and I'm very excited about that position. There's a lot of very thoughtful students in that group, and last year I was able to travel with a few of them to Malawi, and that was a really amazing experience. Next year, though, I'm going to be at Cal State LA. I'm going to be a visiting professor there for 1 year, helping or working with them on engineering education. And I also hope to learn a lot about diversity and inclusion. I'm dedicated to equity and access. I realize that I am a tall white woman, and I have generational privilege that have allowed me to accomplish the things that I have accomplished, and I'm dedicated to using that to try to increase equity and access to those who haven't had access to higher education or any of the institutions that help us to maneuver this world. I'm an educational researcher. Even though I teach industrial engineering, I consider myself, all of my research is in the area of engineering education. I'm interested in engagement and grading. You can see that the grading methods in this class are a little bit different than other classes because I'm interested in what that can do to you, how that can help you as a learner. I'm interested in transfer students. I think that they're an amazing group of students that are prepared for college, and we do not support them enough, especially at this university. I'm also interested in integrated learning. So how do you learn both engineering concepts and also social, cultural, environmental, and political kind of concepts? I'm interested in institutional change. So how can we change the institutions that we live in? And I explore things like change models. And then I'm also very interested in women in engineering. Obviously, I'm a woman in engineering, and I've been in engineering, at least in engineering school, for more than 40 years, and I am interested in how we've all maneuvered that. So a little bit about my experience. I worked for 10 years in engineering, in industry, and I worked in engineering economy and strategic planning. So this topic is something I learned very deeply in industry. I'm an IE undergraduate from Cal Poly SLO, like I said before. I have an MS-ISE, which is a Master's in Science in Industrial and Systems Engineering, and an MBA from USC, University of Southern California. I also have a PhD in education from UCSB. So I have both a mix of engineering and education. I have 26 years as an instructor here at Cal Poly. So that's a little bit about me. I hope that wasn't too much, but hopefully that'll help you understand who I am. The expectations for the course, I'm going to go over sort of how to maneuver the expectations, grading and due dates, organizations, and contacting me. And I've included things here that are on PolyLearn, and so I'm hoping that you also will be able to review these on PolyLearn. But I really want to talk a little bit, just read this first part, which is, as an instructor, my commitment to you. So as an instructor, I will attempt to see you for who you are, rather than through stereotypes. Welcome different ways of understanding, knowing, and being. attempt to understand your point of view, attempt to be fair, including a fair consideration of ideas, prepare before coming to class so that I don't waste your time, use the most current scientific understanding of how people best learn, incorporate your ideas and interests into the class design, and trust that you know yourself and your needs, interests, and values better than I do. And then I'm going to have some expectations I have for you there, and a little bit about time commitment and assignment due dates. The main thing is there's 10 topics in the class, and there's 3 to 5. It says 2 to 4 there, but there's 3 to 5 subtopics. There's also a couple projects. I expect all of the assignments to be turned in by Sunday at 11 p.m. for the week that they're assigned. So you have 2 topics per week because it's a 5-week course, and then all the assignments need to be done by Sunday. So you need to manage your own time in that way. Grading. So in order to get a C in this class, you need to complete 90% of all the assignments and activities and pass 2 tests with a 90% or higher. And don't worry about that 90%. That seems like a high, at least for the test passing, but there'll be multiple retakes, and then you'll also be able to rework problems that you don't quite understand yet. In order to get a B, so higher than a C, you need to do all the requirements for C and work on 1 project. And in order to get an A, you need to do the requirements for C and complete 2 projects. So I hope that you understand that this grading is a little bit different. You actually can decide on the grade you want right now because you know how hard you want to work in this class. And so I'm going to ask you to submit your choice of grade very quickly when we move ahead. So this course is organized into 10 topics, with 3 to 5 subtopics each week. And you can see that I'd like you to read this and kind of understand the organization. But I think it's pretty well organized on PolyLearn. And again, I'm always up to having conversations with you about what works best for you. In order to contact me, I have various ways of contacting: phone or text, email. I also have Zoom office hours, which are now listed on the PolyLearn, and daily chats, and I've changed the daily chats from 7 to 8 p.m. So just so that you know, you can contact me, and I hope that'll help you maneuver. So now we're going to switch a little bit to PolyLearn so I can go over some of the things you might notice in PolyLearn. Okay, so as we maneuver PolyLearn, I'm gonna go through and sort of show you how this is organized. So at the very top, there'll be any kind of current announcements that you might need to know. So, and there's also going to be times here for office hours. And then the next section is an introduction to the online course. So I talk about these things that I showed you about in that video, expectations, or there's some technical issues if you need to understand how to install Office 360, organization, grading, and exam dates, and contacting the instructor. Now, right now, you can only see up to this point because I haven't made visible the topics that we're going to be doing for next week. I'm going to make them visible on Fridays of the week before they begin. So you can see here that this topic is June 24th to June 30th. That means everything is due on June 30th. And so you'll need to make sure you turn it in on that Sunday by 11 p.m. And you can see there's 4 topics here, and each subtopic is listed here, these 4 topics. And pretty much you just go through the process one by one and just answer the question and go through the topic. So first is a TED Talk, and then a website that you need to look at. And over to the right is items that you need to, that you'll be able to click when you're done, or when you've completed it, it'll show up. So in this case, I also include the videos from the PowerPoint from the videos that I created, and a quiz. And so if you do all of these things, you will then complete the things for subtopic 1. And there's 10 subtopics. And again, I will make them visible to you on the Friday before the week they are due. And I hope that'll help you maneuver this. So what we covered in this video is I welcomed you. I talked a little bit about myself, about how to maneuver the course, and then we did a little bit of look at PolyLearn. And I hope that helps you as we learn these things together.